No doubt about it. Those who said, our master is Allah, then they were firm on it. They tried to stay standing on that claim. Saying La ilaha illallah is the easy part. Saying you're going to accept that there's no one except Allah to be worshipped. Saying that Muhammad is His messenger ﷺ is easy, the tongue. هذه الكلمات خفيفة على اللسان. They're very light on the tongue. You can just say them. You could sit there and do a dhikr of La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, no problem. You could do it while you're driving. You could do it when you're sitting down. You could even do it when you're about to go to sleep, you can do it. But standing up for La ilaha illallah, in the middle of a storm, your family hates it, your society hates it, your friends hate it, your wife hates it. There are urges inside of you that you've had all your life, and you got to fulfill them whenever you wanted, and all of a sudden, poof, you're a Muslim. There's a guy I met from Richardson right here, Muslim guy, mashallah. He's a white guy, his wife, circle, working professional, friends get together for beer, and they go to a bar every weekend, and they have a certain kind of gathering, and then they get together, they watch a movie or something, they go skiing, and there's this intermingling and all of this. And he, out of nowhere, became a Muslim. And now he's sitting with a couple of brothers, and he's having dinner, and he's like, all those gatherings and all that stuff I've done my whole life. I can't do that anymore. Everybody, and I haven't told them I'm Muslim yet. But they're noticing that I'm weird. I don't know how long I can hold on. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا رَبُّنَا اللَّهِ. That's part one, man. You just said my master is Allah. That's part one. Then there is ثُمَّ اسْتَقَامُوا. Then they stood up for it. Then they tried to stay standing. This is the image of somebody waking up. Somebody is lying down, they're asleep. Then somebody standing up is somebody definitely awake. And somebody who wants to lie down again, wants to go back to sleep. You just woke up, don't go to sleep now. Weather the storm. And when you're standing in the middle of a storm, you need something to hold on to so you don't fall. فَقَدْ اسْتَمْسَكَ بِالْعُرْوَةِ الْوُثْقَى. So he's holding on to the anchor that doesn't budge. The Qur'an itself. تَتَنَزَّلُ عَلَيْهِمُ الْمَلَائِكَةِ. People like that, they need Qur'an. They need to hear this. From Allah, not from a human being. Human beings can encourage each other, that's nice. When they hear the encouragement coming from Allah, those who said our master is Allah and they held on, تَتَنَزَّلُ عَلَيْهِمُ الْمَلَائِكَةِ. Allah sends angels on them. In the beginning of the surah, قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ يُوحَى إِلَيَّ أَنَّمَا إِلَهُكُمْ إِلَهٌ وَاحِدٌ فَاسْتَقِيمُوا إِلَيْهِ. Stand up for Him. Allah made a demand in the beginning of the surah, stand up for Allah. Stand straight, stand firm. And now, in the middle, in the thick of this surah, let me tell you the kinds of people who stand firm. What do I do for them? And notice one more thing. In the beginning of the surah, in the 14th ayah, إِذْ جَاءَتْهُمْ رُسُلُهُم مِّن بَيْنِ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَمِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا اللَّهَ قَالُوا لَوْ شَاءَ رَبُّنَا لَأَنزَلَ مَلَائِكَةً. They said, Allah said, when messengers came to them, and they tried to give them a message from every direction, why don't you worship Allah? They said if Allah wanted, He would have sent what? Angels. If Allah wanted, He would have sent angels. And now Allah is telling us in the middle of the surah, Allah does send angels. But not for the kuffar. For the believer. The one who stood his ground. Then the angels descend upon him. And by almost consensus of believers, consensus of mufassirun, this is happening at the occasion of his death. This guy held on, he held on, he held on until literally he couldn't stand anymore. It's time for death. He's at his deathbed, he can't even utter words out of his mouth, he doesn't have the energy anymore. His family's all around him, everybody's crying. They're about to experience him parting from this world. And in the middle of that comatose scene, in his last breaths, he sees something nobody around him in the room in the ICU sees. He sees angels. He's still alive. He's still in this world. He sees angels. تَتَنَزَّلُ عَلَيْهِمُ الْمَلَائِكَةِ. And he doesn't see one angel. He sees legions of angels coming down on him. And they're saying to him, أَلَّا تَخَافُوا. Don't fear, don't be afraid. I know you're about to die, you're scared. Don't be afraid. وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا. And don't be sad. Why is he sad? He's leaving his family behind. He's leaving his loved ones behind. And the angels are coming to him at his deathbed, in the ICU, at his home, and they're telling him, don't be sad now. He's still alive though. He hasn't died yet. وَأَبْشِرُوا بِالْجَنَّةِ Congratulations of Jannah. الَّتِي كُنْتُمْ تُوعَدُونَ The one that you had been promised. Remember that Jannah you worked for all this time? That one, you're getting it. This guy doesn't even have the muscle strength left to smile. If his family could only see. If they could only know. Everybody around him is crying and he has never had a happier moment in his life. The irony of it. الَّتِي كُنْتُمْ تُوعَدُونَ And then they say, listen, you know how you used to hold on to the storm? And you stood your ground? When you tried a little bit to stand your ground, Allah sent us to hold you in place. نَحْنُ أَوْلِيَاؤُكُمْ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا We were your protective friends. We are your protective friends in worldly life. We were the ones watching your back. We were the ones that helped when you decided to stand up for Allah and the shayateen would come to try to take you off. We battled those devils for you. We battled them for you. It was a support group of angels that every believer has. No believer should feel like they're alone. There are angels around us that are our awliya. In this world, if you just stand up. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. There are people that are Muslim, the only Muslim in their town. I just met a student from Medina University. And he talks about, because Medina University has students from all over the world. And he talks about this guy that came, and he's the only guy his island has 50 Muslims. 50 Muslims on the entire island. And he's the only one he'll be the first to learn to read Qur'an. Just to read Qur'an. So he's on a mission to go back and, teach his people. But even he's not alone. An army of angels surround him. That, نَحْنُ أَوْلِيَاؤُكُمْ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ And in the afterlife too. So we're going to protect you in the afterlife also. We're your protective friend. Judgment day comes, everything's falling apart, and some people have guardian angels. Some people have a security detail even then. وَلَكُمْ فِيهَا مَا تَشْتَهِي أَنفُسُكُمْ And you're going to have whatever you desired. Al-ishtiha, a strong temptation. You were holding on to Islam, that did not mean your desires died. You had temptations too. You wanted to try some of that too. You wanted to look there too. You had opportunities coming your way and you didn't take advantage of them. But the thought crossed your mind. Oh man, I wish I could do that. No, astaghfirullah, a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. You fought temptations. And now the gates of your temptation are opened. You will have whatever you're tempted to do. Ma tashtahi anfusukum. You name it, you got it. Don't be afraid, don't be ashamed. But then on top of that, and by the way, ishtiha is something every human being has. We all have shahwa. زُيِّنَ لِلنَّاسِ حُبُّ الشَّهَوَاتِ عَلَى سَبِيلِ الْمِثَالِ We all have shahwa. We all have some very strong temptations, desires, things we really, really want. But that's something Allah put inside of us. Allah says that He put shahwat inside of us. But what about things that are at different levels? There are at certain maturity levels. A child, you ask them, what do you want? One of my kids, if I ask her, what do you want? She'll say ice cream. What do you want the most? Ice cream. If you could have anything you want, what do you want? Ice cream. Another child I ask, a little bit older child, what do you want? Can I have an iPod? How about an iPad 2? How about a MacBook Pro with that? Actually, a MacBook Air would be nice with that. How about a TV in my room? How about access to the Wi-Fi? The wishes change or no? You ask for different things. Ask a 40-year-old what he wants. It's going to be different when you ask a 30-year-old. It's going to be different someone who lived in the village his entire life. Someone who lived in a city his entire life. People are at different levels with different life experiences. So their wants at some level are the same and at some level they are different. So Allah says you'll have all your temptations met. And temptations are what we have in common. But on top of that, وَلَكُمْ فِيهَا مَا تَدَّعُونَ You're also going to have in it whatever you place an order for. Maybe your personal curiosity, your personal order is unique to you. Nobody else asked that question, just you did. You'll get that too.